That's right. It is time once again. Orange and blue today. Cecil Lammey. Hope to be joined by Andrew Mason, who's out at the Broncos facility. Media availability today included the likes of Russell Wilson and all that. So we'll get to see what Mace gathers and collects from his data, his research and fact-finding out there at UCL's training center, which I was earlier today out there for Broncos practice. You had Nathaniel Hackett talk. You've got players talking. You have players returning from injury, and it is Raiders week. I don't know exactly what that means anymore because the Broncos are embarrassing and the Raiders are embarrassing. I guess it's embarrassment week, or one of these teams has to win type of week, kind of. I don't know, whatever we're going to call it. That's what it is. Andrew Mason joining us, bundled up, Mace, because once that sun starts going down, buddy, it's a little chilly.
Yeah, it's cold. I mean, ordinarily I'd be sitting warm and toasty in my relaxing Craftsman easy chair with the decor behind me of pennants and whatever. But Broncos changed the media schedule today and had players talk after practice. So, I'm still here. It's all right. We just improvise and adjust, blah, blah, blah. Hey, I mean, they've tried, they've tried everything else to change the mojo, and when they've lost 5 out of 6, why not change the media schedule, right? So whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that's right. I appreciate the Broncos.
I'm trying to be positive about this.
Yes.
I'm not. No one's really happy about the change, or maybe one person in the media corps was happy. No one else was happy.
Right. Yeah. So we'll stay positive with this team, and we'll stay positive with the weird stuff that's coming out from Nathaniel Hackett, as you mentioned, when he's talking about injuries, Mace, the KJ Hamler injury, which we'll get to. Justin Simmons appears to be back, although at practice he was like coming in from the indoor facility. He wasn't on the practice field, so whatever. Maybe he was later, Mace. But either way, like, we have some interesting conversation revolving around the way Nathaniel Hackett is talking about these injured players.
Yeah, like, it was interesting because the roundup he gave, talking about day to day, week to week, it sounded like the Monday injury report rather than the Wednesday injury report. Mm-hmm. So it was a little strange.
Mm-hmm. A little strange out there for sure. But it's something that, do you think Justin Simmons is back this week? I mean, he was scheduled to talk. Did he talk?
He did talk. And that's why I'd be surprised if he doesn't play on Sunday. And I'd say he's trending toward playing. We know KJ Hamler is out because he's week to week. We know K'Wan Williams is out. The interesting thing going forward is going to be Graham Glasgow, who was not out there today. And Luke Wattenberg was taking the reps with Russell Wilson for the center snap exchange. But there's an optimism that Glasgow's going to be out there. We didn't see Kendall Hinton. We didn't see Jerry Jeudy out there. But I would imagine they're optimistic about at least one of them, because otherwise maybe they don't cut Tyree Cleveland.
Right.
So it's it's one of those things where you kind of focus on what they do, right? And the fact that they were willing to cut Tyree Cleveland probably tells you that they expect Hinton, Jeudy, or both to be ready, because they know KJ Hamler is not going to be ready.
Yeah, and it's Wednesday, so Wednesday injury reports, we note it's something of interest, but it's also not the end of the world, because Jerry Jeudy could practice on Friday. What did he call him, day-to-day? Is that right, day-to-day?
Yeah, and Baron Browning's still day-to-day, but he hasn't gotten out there yet. Literally, Baron Browning has not practiced since he had that hip injury, which was October 23rd of, so, I mean, we're closing in here now on a full, nearly a month since Baron Browning had that injury, because what's today, the 16th? So we're basically, we're about 23, 24 days out from when he had that injury. And now with Baron Browning, I mean, you start thinking, oh, maybe he should have gone on IR with that hip injury because it's lingering so long. And he's only missed 2 games because of the bye, but him not being out there today, I think is a concern.
Andrew asks on YouTube, what are the chances we get more Dulcich in the game plan? We are going to talk about the game plan, Mason, how it's going to include shotgun formation to keep pissing everybody off, but Is Dulcich going to be out there a little bit more? Yeah, I'd say yes. And they tried. And as I tweeted about, and then I wrote about it at denverfan.com, it just doesn't seem like Dulcich is quite there. He's a rookie, so I'm going to give him the ultimate pass. But like, he doesn't know where to sit down in his zone because Russ is throwing to the soft spot and Dulcich is like continuing to run. So then the pass looks behind him and people go, Russell Wilson sucks. Russell Wilson threw it where the kid should have sat down, and he didn't do that. So, like, you know, they're trying. It's work in progress, Mace.
Yeah, it's not going to be all together there. I mean, I don't know that we'll see more. I mean, he is tight end 1, right? That at this point. So basically, there's not much more for him to do in terms of how much he's playing than what he is right now. He's the first option at tight end. They're going to keep using him. Ty brings up there in the comments, let's see a full load of Chase Edmonds. I don't know that we're going to see a heavy workload from Chase Edmonds. I think mostly on third downs, which is most of what he's worked at in Tennessee on Sunday. That's probably what you're going to see from him going forward. Maybe a few more reps. He's still kind of learning things, but he's not going to be the every down back. The every down is going to basically be Latavius Murray, Melvin Gordon. Should probably be more Latavius Murray than Melvin Gordon, but at the same time, Melvin Gordon's better in pass protection. So, you know, you have all these backs and all of them have one thing that they do well and better than anybody else in the room, but none of them are the complete picture right now.
Right. And if you could combine all of them genetically, you'd have a hell of a running back.
Mm-hmm.
Have somebody that could do everything.
Yeah, I mean, the only reason you wouldn't say that about Javonte Williams is the pass pro part, but he's got everything else to his game. But alas, he's not available now. And I think the thing with Chase Edmonds, why the trade was so interesting, getting him back as part of the Bradley Chubb deal, is Chase Edmonds is probably going to be a part of this team next year as well, with Javonte Williams trying to work his way back.
Yep. We shall see about that. But Mace, you and I had a plucky conversation out at the facility today about the shotgun formation. And the studying of the all-22 is what I do on Mondays and Tuesdays. It's why I'm underwater. And then Wednesday I come up for air and I'm like, oh, hey, more shotgun. Like, that's just what they're going to do. I don't think it's effective. I don't think it's the best plan. Fans hate it. You hear about it all the time. I hear it about all the time. But from the coaches' film and from what this team is just showing, again, judge on what they do. What they do is they're a shotgun team, like it or not.
They're a shotgun team. They're a 3-wide team. Yep. Although we did see some packages with Chase Edmonds working with another running back, 2 running backs flanking Russell Wilson. This is mostly a 3-wide team. This is mostly a shotgun team. And oh, by the way, it's very little of an outside zone team.
Yes.
So, I mean, outside zone being the foundation of the running game. No, that hasn't happened. I don't think it's going to happen the rest of the way.
Well, and we know this offense well based on what the Shanahans do with it. Like, it should be a 2 tight end system.
Ideally.
It should be. The fact that it's 3 wide receivers tells you a lot about the personnel or lack of personnel that they have.
2 tight ends or one of those tight ends being a fullback.
Yeah,
I mean, it's the offense that for a while was keeping the fullback alive, right? I mean,
your Kyle Juszczyks of the world.
Gary Kubiak, made sure they drafted Andy Janovich, love Jano, in 2016 because he needed a fullback in this offense, right? So, yeah, what we're seeing is, as Jim Morrison said. In the Ghost song, where are the feasts we were promised? Right. We're not getting that.
We're not getting that at all. I like it. And that's 2 days in a row you've mixed Jano into the conversation.
Well, I mean, how can we forget a guy like that? I mean,
I know. Never forget him.
And now right now you don't have the guy who is your nominal fullback in Andrew Beck. That's another guy who wasn't out there today. Another hamstring injury. So you saw Eric Saubert kind of getting those reps on Sunday, what limited ones there were. But, there's what we thought it was going to be based on the lineage of this offense and what it turned out to be. It's 2 completely different things. So then the question is, all right, is it Russ or is it Hackett? Why are we seeing this?
Yeah, why are we seeing this and what's wrong with the Denver Broncos? Of course, all fans are thinking if you lose to the Raiders, then Nathaniel Hackett's gone. We'll continue that conversation, I guess, Mace. One thing you and I did talk about, and it's very touchy for some. I know Wade Phillips, I think he blocked my dude Charlie Campbell from Walter Football when Charlie reported it. We already knew about it, but it got to the national media, and Charlie reported it years ago when there was a split between Wade Phillips' defense and the Broncos offense. And there was a split, and we knew about it. We didn't really talk about it. Charlie reported it, and then Wade Phillips, I think Wade actually went to a press conference like, it's not good. It's bogus report. Like, it was 100% accurate. Like, the defense was like, those guys suck. You know, we're awesome. They're not doing anything. We don't have that now. So because fans are making the assumption like, you know, Hackett's lost the team, and no, I still get players telling me I hope he gets another year. Yeah. So that's my observation, Mace. You're in the locker room. You're out of the facility. What's your take on this potential division that could be caused in the Broncos locker room?
The most important person in terms of not having the division, and the reason why you don't have that, is Ejiro Evero. And the thing to note on Evero is that he and Nathaniel Hackett have been friends for about 20 years. Evero is not going to get up at a meeting and trash Nathaniel Hackett. He's not going to do that to his guy. So you don't have a situation where the leader of the defense is basically making it us and them. What you do have, and Josie Jewell kind of alluded to this on Monday, is a situation where the defense is very much in stay in our lane mode, that we're going to do our job. We can't really worry about what goes on the offense. Don't have control over that. But it's not something that is tearing apart the locker room. It's a different dynamic. And I think, frankly, it's another reason why Ejiro Evero, no matter what happens the rest of the way, is going to get head coaching interviews, because of how he is kind of keeping things from coming apart. But on a personal level, Coach E isn't going to do that to his good buddy Nathaniel. He just won't.
Right. Well, it's more of the kind of head coaching mentality that you need to have. And I'm not saying that Nathaniel Hackett doesn't. I believe he's in over his head. I don't think he's a good head coach. But like with Ejiro Evero, I'll use a word that doesn't mean the same as it used to, and I've used it before. It's presidential. When Mike McCoy was the OC and he thought he was the head coach, like when he'd do a press conference, he would control it and he would own it. And then like Vance Joseph would get up there and thump. Leader of men would like be nervous when he was talking to the media. I was like, we're puppy dogs, VJ. Don't worry about us. But like, no, when you listen to Ejiro Evero, when you see the guidance from his players and you hear that from Josie Jewell, I love it, because in life and in football, you control what you can control, right? We can all complain about my boss or my dad or whatever, or you can say, that stuff's going to happen. I'm going to do what I'm going to do and focus on that. So when Jewell says that, I think it's interesting to note. And it's something that we can note being around the team and notice how things are different than they have been when the defense has been great and the offense has been bad.
Yeah, it's completely different dynamic. I mean, I said to somebody, I said it today, may have said it to you. This isn't Buddy Ryan, Mike Ditka, right?
Me and Nick Kosmider were talking about that.
Right, yeah. It's not going to be like that. And I can't see a scenario where it gets like that. The one thing I could see happening is if there is a game where it goes against them early and things get out of hand, that maybe it just kind of there's not the same kind of fight back, perhaps. But that's, I think, more a result of kind of the season at large.
Is that more of a December thing? I know it's not yet Thanksgiving, but is that more like after Thanksgiving, if there's let's say game against the Chiefs and they're down by 20, the offense can't get anything going, 3 and out. There's 9 punts, whatever. Like, is that more of a December thing, or do you think we could see it now this week?
I don't think we'll see it against either of these next 2 opponents. It's just it's a quality of foe thing. even with the injured players that you've got on defense, even if you don't have Baron Browning, you still probably won't have Randy Gregory for this game. You're not going to have K1 Williams. You obviously don't have Ronald Darby. There's still a lot of good players out there and a lot of prideful players. And you have Evero, who is a really outstanding tactician. And as we saw with how he moved Draymond Jones on Sunday to adapt for what he was missing on the edge, and to adapt to what the Titans were going to throw at them with Derrick Henry, I think you'll see some good game plans. I think you're right when you say after Thanksgiving, Baltimore, Kansas City, out of Thanksgiving. If I had to say which game might be the moment where it might get out of hand, part of me wants to say Baltimore, but at the same time, if they win these next two against the Raiders and Panthers, and they're sitting there at 5-6, I think there'll be some fight to the Broncos in that game. Maybe it's something that doesn't happen until the Chiefs game in Kansas City on New Year's Day. I think, again, that probably depends on the next two games. If the Broncos win the next two, I think the fight kind of lasts a little bit longer. Right. If they lose one of these two games and they're going to Baltimore at 4-7, then that's a game that I could see getting out of hand. But you could argue maybe Baltimore is a better team right now today than Kansas City.
Right.
A more complete team than Kansas City. I think Baltimore certainly figured out the defensive issues that led to those early blown leads against Miami and Buffalo. So that's the one where I think, and again, only if they lose one of these next two games. If they win them both, I think they probably put up a little bit of a fight against the Ravens. I don't think they'll win, but I think they put up a fight.
Yeah, and that's what we're looking for. We're looking for fights. We're looking for heart. We're looking for when you're backed against the wall, when things look terrible like they do now, like who rises to the occasion, who is here for this team, and
who's a pro. Yeah, that's the thing.
Exactly.
I want to see, this is you're 3-6. You've lost 5 of your last 6 games. It's probably going to be a tense environment going into that stadium on Sunday. You're playing a team that is also in a dark place, right? Who's going to be better at being pros? That's the team that's going to win this game. Now, that being said, the interesting dynamic in Las Vegas is this: they're almost certainly not firing Josh McDaniels. Mark Davis can't afford to fire Josh McDaniels.
No, the bank won't tell him he can afford it either.
Right. So McDaniels can go to his team and say, you guys are playing for your jobs. Who wants to be here? And be the person assured to be making those decisions, him and Dave Ziegler. They're going to be running that team next year. We don't know that Nathaniel Hackett's going to be running the Broncos next year. I think George Pate would like to avoid making a change, but that is one thing that is different here, is that the guys that are going to be out there in silver and black, they know their futures are going to be determined by the guy who's on the sideline right now, as maligned as he is, whereas there are questions about that for the Broncos, especially if they lose this game.
Yeah, there are questions that surround this team and that abound with this team, but we are here to answer as many of them as we possibly can. It's Orange and Blue today. It's 3:30 p.m. Mountain Time. It's Cecil, Lammey, it's Andrew Mason, and Mace. It's the rest of the season grind. Like, who's going to show up? That's what I'm looking forward to. Like, the season lost. Somebody on Facebook, I think, said that earlier. Like, the season's lost. Like, okay, I'm not going to argue against that. But I also want to see, like, who wants to be here, who really rises to the occasion. You can tell a lot in these type of situations. It sucks. You don't want to be in this situation, but, evaluations will rise from this.
Right. And, every bit of film is your resume, right? And it's part of the evaluation. It's part of what your next contracts are going to look like. It's part, whether it's this team or another team down the line. I mean, so this is about being a pro, right? And look, most of these guys are going to go out there and do exactly what I think we expect of them and to be pros. I don't put it this way. I don't think you're going to see many business decisions, at least in this game.
Right.
Maybe a month from now, if things haven't turned around, there may be a business decision or two happening. I mean, my favorite business decision of all was Aqib Talib there against Kansas City back in that last game of 2017. Wanted no part of stopping the run there.
Yeah.
When the Chiefs it was the game that Patrick Mahomes started, and after the first possession, the coach's like, "Yep, we're good. All right, you can sit the rest of this one out. We're fine."
Yeah, we're good. We got you.
He made it clear he wanted no part of that game.
Right. Yeah. So we've seen it before. We'll see it hopefully not anytime soon, but we'll get through it. Broncos country, as we always do. Got an abbreviated show today, Mace. You know it's Wednesday, so I've got Orlando and Cecil's pizza party. We're coming up at Lakewood today, so
okay.
you should stop by for some pizza and warm up with the pizza pie, right?
I should. I mean, it's on the
Lakewood,
company dime, right?
Yeah, just go down Hampton or whatever it is. Yeah, just swing on by.
Lakewood's not too far. I mean, you guys have been out like in Brighton. You guys have been out in Brighton.
You guys Aurora. Yeah, we've been all over the place.
Oh, Aurora's not too bad for me. I'm in DTC, and Lakewood's not too bad. Like you said, I can get scoot down to Hamden a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, all Hamden and Wadsworth, baby. 6 p.m. to 9 p.m.
6 to 9. I mean, I'll probably be at like the 8 to 9 p.m. end of it.
Okay.
And more likely, I got some stuff to do here, but yeah, I'll try to stop on by, say hello.
Okay.
You know.
Yeah.
It's is it mostly fantasy football talk, or were you guys just going through
only
everything?
In the 7 o'clock, 7 to 7:30.
Oh, okay.
Talk fantasy. The rest of the time we'll be talking what's going on with the Denver Broncos, and well, you're always welcome. Come by and eat some pizza with us.
I may do that tonight. That actually sounds like a lot of fun.
Andrew Mason's favorite pizza is what?
I'm basic. Just give me pepperoni. I'm boring.
There's nothing wrong with that. At least it's not pineapple.
Whoa! My second favorite is Hawaiian and Canadian. It's Canadian bacon and pineapple.
Okay, all right.
Love that.
You've been around me, Mace, long enough to know there are plenty of times when I stick my foot in my mouth.
That's okay. It's a polarizing thing, right? Not everybody likes the Hawaiian pizza.
Yeah. I love
it.
I've never professed to be the smartest guy in the room because, like, I was just telling my buddy Scott, who was in town. He's Carrie Underwood's keyboard player. So anyway, humble brag. So I was telling him about the time at the Senior Bowl. We was at Ruth's Chris. I was probably drinking a little too much. And Pat Kerwin and Jim Miller, who I appreciate and adore, especially Pat. Like, I love Pat. They're like sitting at the bar. I didn't notice it. So I'm sitting around with my buddies, Matt Waldman and Dr. Gene Bramall. And I was like, man, if I ever get as fat as Jim Miller, somebody shoot me. And Jim's sitting right there. And then they got up and I thought we were going to rumble. I'm so embarrassed by that. And I've apologized. And it's like, okay, yeah, I'm an ass. Okay, there you go. And hand raised up. So,
yeah. I know about being of Jim's proportions. I'm not going to say anything.
Well, hey, I was
and the pizza isn't going to help. So do they have a good chopped salad down there? I mean, maybe that's what.
Let me finish. I'm on. I eat the chicken wings and plenty of carrots and plenty of celery. So
okay, and I might have to maybe not have the pizza, but if I can find a good salad on the menu, that would actually suit me very nicely right now. So
okay, well, if you can make it, please do. Everyone else, come on out to it's Orlando and Cecil's Pizza Party Wednesdays. So we abbreviate the show just a little bit. He's Andrew Mason. I'm Cecil Lammey. Thanks for watching Orange and Blue today. The response has been tremendous. Tell a friend, like, comment, share, subscribe on YouTube. Do all the YouTube things. Make sure to promote us on social networking as well. We really appreciate how much you guys have gravitated towards the show. And, it's not always going to be bad for the Broncos. We'll be there when it gets better. So there we go. He's Andrew Mason. I'm Cecil Lammey saying, be safe, be kind, know that you're appreciated. Stay tuned. And as always, stay frosty.